Do complex legal issues hold you back? Let's get energized and bring clarity to your top legal questions. This is Law Talk with the Flock by Goosmann Law Firm.
Hello, I'm your host, Jeana Goosmann, a CEO, lawyer, author, and woman business owner, here to help navigate you through the law, your business, and life as a leader. For today's episode, I have with me attorney Emily Maurice. Emily is an employment and family law attorney here at the Goosmann Law Firm, and we are going to talk about what people's rights are as step parents. A lot of people and families have step parents and are step kids. So let's introduce yourself a little bit for me and our listeners. Would you, Emily?
Yes, thank you, Jeana. Hi, I'm Emily Maurice. I'm up in the Sioux Falls office with the Goosmann Law Firm. I've been with Goosmann for a little over 3.5 years, and my primary focus is family law. I work on trying to ditch the drama in divorce and taking the chaos out of custody situations. As Jeana mentioned, I also focus on employment law and general civil litigation.
Awesome. Emily, I'm so excited to have you on today and to talk about some of the step parent issues. And one of the things we get asked are, can step parents adopt those children?
So the answer to that is the old law school answer of it depends. So if one of the biological parents has died, so say or say dad has passed and stepdad wishes to adopt, that would be an instance where step parent adoption would more easily occur. Otherwise, you would have to wait until there was the consent of one of the biological parents to the adoption for the step parent.
Now, if in that hypothetical, the biological father is still around and won't consent, but the stepfather and the biological mom are married and he wants to do the adoption, what happens then?
So you can always try to go to the court and ask for an involuntary termination of parental rights. When you're doing something like that, though, you have to look at whether or not there's been any sort of abuse and neglect. If there's been abandonment, say biological dad hasn't been around for 7 years of the child's life, hasn't paid child support, doesn't make phone calls, anything like that. You could tell the court that there's been abandonment and see if the court will permit the step parent adoption at that point. Also, if the biological dad has been deemed as an unfit parent, or whether or not the biological parent lacks the capacity to consent. So maybe there is a situation where biological dad has become um, just basically has lost the capacity to be able to legally consent to the adoption. The court could find that that lack of capacity exists and permit the step parent adoption to go through anyway.
Now, what happens if there is a step parent adoption? So, step parent has adopted the child, and there's a biological parent, and then those two get divorced. How does that affect the step parent's rights after they've adopted the child?
If the adoption has already gone through and has been finalized by the court, then the court looks at the step parent with the same parental rights as the biological parent. So then you would, again, call our firm so we can help you with all of, reducing all of the chaos in a custody matter when something like that happens. But the step parent will have the same exact rights as the biological parent if the adoption has already gone through and the step parent and the biological parent divorce.
And how about if the step parent dies? What happens then after there's been an adoption?
After there's been an adoption, if the step parent has died, again, they have the same rights. So the child has the ability to inherit from the adoptive parent, the adoptive step parent, the same as they would from a biological parent.
And what if there's not been a formal adoption process, but say biological mom and stepdad in this circumstance that we've been talking about, they've been married for a decade and then stepdad dies. What happens then?
So again, it depends. Technically, there are no inheritance rights at that point. But if you have a well-written will or a trust set up, which we can also help you with, if you have something like that set up, stepdad could have directed everything to go to the child that he anticipated to adopt. But otherwise, there wouldn't be any route for inheritance. There wouldn't be any route for parental rights, anything of that sort for the step parent.
All of this sounds like it's really fact specific.
It very much is. It all depends on the situation, what has happened, when it happens. There's a lot of different things that the court will have to look at when considering a step parent adoption.
So, Emily, how does someone go about getting Goosmann Law Firm to help them navigate these family law matters?
So what you would do is reach out to our Omaha, our Sioux City, or our Sioux Falls office, and we will take your information, and then our one of our skilled paralegals will be able to get back to you and get some more basic information, and then either myself or Beth Raisler, who is also in our Sioux Falls office, would be able to assist you with getting the best plan in place and determining whether or not we can make the step parent adoption happen for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily, so much for sharing your insight today. Have a great day, everyone. Go make it worth it.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for Law Talk with the Flock by Goosmann Law Firm. We hope you feel energized and ready to soar past your goals. Become a Flock fan and subscribe to our podcast for weekly episodes. Learn more at goosmannlaw.com.